joining us all the way from 7 a.m. till now. It's always a pleasure having you watch us and know what we can deliver. And of course, being Smart 24 TV, we're here to deliver business news, update you in what is happening, what you could have missed out. Anyway, I know today is Monday, but all these conversations are proudly brought to you by Zabo. Regardless being a public holiday, we can't fail to mention it. So whether you have a button phone, whether you have a smartphone, Zabo says there is no need for hustle. All you need to do is dial *292#. And for the prompts, you can learn about the ponds, you can learn about the products they have, you can sell, you can buy, depending. But investment is as low as 15,000 Ugandan shillings or more. You can choose to invest more than 15,000 Ugandan shillings and, of course, start investing from there. So, working days are Monday to Friday, except for public holidays, which today is a public holiday, so Zabo is not operational. And of course, opening time on working days is usually 8:15 a.m. to 3:15 p.m., 6 working hours. Zabo says, my money, my future, and the powered by Alltex East Africa, telling you to do something new is the month of October. Well, of course, today being a very special day for Uganda, and we expect the ceremony to take place actually later on in the day. But anyway, I know it can be, a lazy morning. But regardless, for those that work, whether public holiday, whether Christmas, whether whatever, we are here, we got you, and we're here to let you know that you can get motivated on Smart Men's Business. Let's get motivated for the day. And of course, those of you who will be like, oh man, how did he make it? Of course, success wasn't done overnight. It took a longer time than you think. The time for preparation actually was more than you think. If you look closely, most overnight successes took a long time. Do you actually, for someone spectating or looking at you, maybe like, oh my goodness, it's just a short while and this guy is boom, he's rich and he's making money, millions of money. You don't know the number of the time it took for him to think through, to make a decision for them to be where you are. So it's not an overnight thing unless it's inherited. It's not an overtime thing. But anyway, that is it for our today's motivation. So keep the spirit, be patient. Patience is a very key aspect when it comes to being successful. If you're not patient, definitely the first time you fail, you're gonna lose it. But then for those that have been patient, they've been the most successful of all time. Anyway, right at about now, I'm joined with Andrew Barija, and of course today is the 61st. We're celebrating 61 years of independence, yes, since 1962, counting now. And of course, we want to see the progress of Uganda for the last 60 years. And of course, I was seeing in the papers actually getting into our topic about looking at the manufacturing sector. I was seeing number of industries that have stood the test of time. I saw Kachira Factory, I saw Nightil, and of course, very many that we did not exhaust. Yeah. So maybe you could give me a take on that. how have you seen Uganda progress over the years?
Well, of course, over the years, we've seen the manufacturing sector, which has so far contributed to about 15.4%. That is to Uganda's gross domestic product. You know, now this is considering these are the recent recordings. You know, I mean, in just last year, and we see the manufacturing exports. Uganda's manufacturing exports reaching that is about 7.46 billion. That is US dollars. That is still in the same year. But of course, we've grown really big when it comes to the manufacturing. That is over the years. Probably, if we could take a look at what are those manufacturing accomplishments that we have actually achieved from way back, and we can actually cite out specifics later on. Now, of course, Uganda's manufacturing growth since independence. The food and beverage industry is now the largest manufacturing sector in Uganda. That is accounting for 35%. That is of the total manufacturing output. And we see the textile industry, which has also grown. I mentioned retail, which has grown by an average rate of about 10%. That is over the past decade. You know, the pharmaceutical industry, which has also which has grown by an average rate of 20%. That is per year. That is over the past decade. And yes, we actually registering growth figures in here, and metal and engineering industry, which has grown by an average rate of about 5%. But of course, when you can take a look at the significancy of all those, there is an element of value addition. Most especially, it brings back to some sort of agriculture, because when you talk about cotton, it is still grown, right? So I mean, so it's always good that we can actually have our own locally, the inputs that we use to be gotten from within the local production, so that we can save costs of importation. And actually, I can see we're doing that as the president of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is still urging people to embrace value addition. That's why I'm seeing textile industry, which is growing. If that is adding value, that is to the raw material. That is cotton, food and beverage industry, still points it out to the agriculture sector, 35%, as you can get to see. And the pharmaceutical industry, which has grown by an average of a rate of about 20%.
Of course, talking about manufacturing, I saw some here, Nitel, which had started earlier in the 1950s. Can you imagine 1950s? So it is, you know, in 70 years plus.
Yeah.
And of course, many job opportunities have been given. People have gotten job opportunities out of that. We have Kachira Factory. Kachira Factory since 1930, and of course Kachira crushes over 2 million tons of sugarcane per year, and of course accounting to half of the national sugar production. Quite interesting, right there, talking about manufacturing. Then we have Nile Breweries in Uganda, and of course established in 1951, and of course more than 70 years and counting, Nile Breweries, and of course currently it employs more than 500 people. And of course, we see also we have Mukwano Industries Uganda, you know, the Mukwano products, and of course it has been in East Central Africa, and of course player in major businesses, and of course manufacturing, agriculture, logistics, supply chain, and of course contributing towards driving economy. Yeah, so its origins date back in the 1910s. Yeah, so it's quite old, and these are one of the industries, manufacturing industries that have, you know, grown with Uganda. Actually, grown before Uganda, but are still growing even over time. Nitel still on, Kachira still on, Mukwano still on. You know, we want to see also the ones that are here. We have Uganda'S. Uganda'S has been long since here for longer, founded in 1964, still doing its work.
Very true, and maybe just to top up on that shortly, we see there was what we call the establishment of the Uganda Development Corporation. That is in 1963, a year exactly after independence. And now the Uganda Development Corporation was a government-owned investment agency that played a role that is in promoting development and manufacturing that is within Uganda. Now this was laying down from a foundation that is there for the rest of the manufacturing activities to be carried out in the nation. And now we see that the Uganda Development Corporation still established and invested in a number of manufacturing companies in Uganda. Of course, Uganda Breweries, which was one of them, Uganda Sugar Corporation, and Uganda Cement Corporation. So you can actually see that. We also see here the growth of the food and beverage industry, like we saw amongst those industries that have actually been the food and beverage industry, which has actually grown at 35%. Now we see that Uganda's food and beverage industry was one of the most important manufacturing sectors in the country, as the industry has rapidly increased in the recent years, and it now accounts that is a significant share when it comes to Uganda's exports, what is really put out there. And some of the leading beverage companies, we can see the now breweries, which has really been doing great. Of course, there is the Bidco Africa. At some time we cannot mention that. So we are really, you can really see the manufacturing accomplishments.
Bidco is for cooking oil.
Cooking oil, that is over the past 61 years. That is quite great. And now, of course, Nutil, we have mentioned. Now this is the textile industry. As Uganda's textile industry is another important manufacturing sector, as we can take a look here. So the industry has grown significantly, and now we see that exports of textiles. Uganda exports textiles to a number of countries. That is around the world, and some of the leading companies still Sinece and Fine Spinners and Paramount Garments. You can really see we are really doing great. Now, when it comes to the pharmaceutical industry, which the industry now produces quite a wide range of pharmaceutical products. That is including generic drugs, and that is over-the-counter medication, and we see some of the leading pharmaceutical companies within here. Cipla, of course, we cannot mention that, and it's really been performing quite great when it comes to that. And now talking about the medical and engineering industry, which is actually development of metal and engineering industry, one of those sectors that have developed over the last 61 years. And the Uganda's metal and engineering industry is slightly small, according to a report here, but it has grown, that is in the recent years, according to what I'm seeing. And the industry produces a variety of metal products, including machinery tools. We have spare parts, which are being used here. And some of the leading metal and engineering companies in Uganda, we have steel rolling mills, which have actually been performing quite well. Uganda Railways Engineering Works, and we also have Kibra Motors Corporation, which has actually went ahead when it comes to innovation spaces by introducing the electric vehicles, which actually some are being used in Kenya. Yeah,
some are being used in Kenya, and we are producing more electric bikes and bicycles and motorcycles.
Motorcycles, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, of course, away from what we've just mentioned, probably they are just the country rather has made significant progress. That is when it comes to development in manufacturing sector, and it is now a home and of a number of successful manufacturing companies. Of course, we have success stories of the different companies in Uganda, but of course, in addition to that, we see that there are some other notable business accomplishments in the manufacturing in Uganda since independence. Of course, we shall kickstart off with the 2018, where the Ugandan government launched the National Industrial Policy, which aims to transform Uganda into a middle-income country through industrialization. But of course, the ultimate aspect is that such policies are being put in place, but it's their ultimate follow-up to see whether they are actually achieving what they ought to achieve in some sort of a way. Now, of course, in 2019, the Ugandan government still commissioned the Insimba Hydro Dam, which is the country's largest hydro power dam. Now, the dam is expected to provide a reliable, that is, a source of electricity for the manufacturing companies in there. Of course, now this is what is being done to make sure that the manufacturing sector is boosted, because we know these industries heavily rely on power. And there is a battle when it comes to the domestic power consumption vis-a-vis those that are consuming electricity, but they are producing goods. You know, for example, people that use electricity in homes vis-a-vis those that use it in factories. That's why there is a deliberate policy. The factories actually pay a slightly lesser fee as compared to those that use the electricity that is for home consumption. And now in 2020 still, the Ugandan government launched the Industrial Parks Program, which aims to establish industrial parks that is in different parts of the country. And now these industrial parks will also provide manufacturers with access to, first of all, land, there is the infrastructure and other amenities, you know, all those requirements that are needed. Recently, there was one that was launched in Bali, industrial park, and many more. Which are going to be coming up. So you can really see all the aspects that are being done within this regime to make sure that the manufacturing sector grows and it's boosted to greater heights. Yeah.
Well, of course, when it comes to manufacturing industry or sector in Uganda, I believe we've grown over time, and of course, it's creating employment opportunities for the youth. Now that we've seen it doubled, and of course, they're hoping for more than 60 industries or factories to be, have been to be set up, to be established. So I believe we shall yet to see what it will provide over the years, because now we want to have an economy where we have everything within. We can access textile, cement, we can access building equipment, without having to import.
Exactly.
It's actually good. The lesser we import and we export, the more money we get. So if you have these companies that are, manufacturing and we're exporting and also supplying within their country, that means you're going to have more for ourselves.
Okay.
So work towards that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we've seen this report that the development suggests that Uganda is actually very committed when it comes to the manufacturing sector, and the country has has a number of advantages that can help it achieve this goal. And including we see that there is a young growing population and a rich endowment of natural resources, as well as strategic location in the East Africa. Of course, despite the fact that we are being a landlocked nation, but with the relations that we carry with the neighboring countries that can actually access the port, can actually be a potential tool when it comes to attracting fair deals as a result of that. Well, it's exactly 22 minutes past 8. This is Smart Means Business. I'm Juba Rije, Masi Katsime. It's the Monday and the Independence Day, 61 years, of course, of independence. Yes, it's quite a very wide aspect, but of course we know, we got the political independence, but we have the economic independence, we have the social independence, so many more those aspects that we need to really look into. But of course, still to remind you that, of course, today being a public holiday, the markets on the ZAB platform are not in operation. But of course, what I need you to know is that ZAB is a platform which enables you to buy bonds and securities for a fee of just 50,000 Ugandan shillings. And now here, the markets open at 8:15 every day, and they run up to 3:15 p.m. That is East African time, effective Monday up to Friday, apart from the weekends and the public holidays when these markets are not accessed. Like today is Independence Day, it's a public holiday, so the markets are not in access. But of course, government, this is a reality. You buy these bonds for as low as 15,000 Ugandan shillings. Though still you can choose to invest more than that. But Zabu just says that, well, come with what you have. Let us grow together with that. As you progress, you can invest more. And that's why it comes out and boldly tells you that it's my money, it's my future. And Altex East Africa tells you that, well, you need to do something new for yourself. You need to do something new for yourself. Most especially for those that are looking for where to invest your money. You're seeing scams everywhere. But Zab is the ultimate answer to your investment strategies and priorities. Well, Smart Means Business takes a break, and when we return, definitely shall be taking a look at what is happening, what was happening in sports over the weekend, sports business. At the same time, we shall be getting into our movies, which have been really grossing quite big on the box office. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
The Green Hydrogen Project in the UAE, specifically at the Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Solar Park, is the groundbreaking initiative in the Middle East and North African region. The Green Hydrogen Project is a collaborative effort involving several key stakeholders. It was implemented through a partnership between the Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, DEWA, Expo in 2020, and Siemens Energy. This partnership reflects the commitment of both government entities and private industry to advancing green hydrogen technology. The pilot plant for this project is situated at the outdoor testing facilities of the R&D Center at the Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Solar Park. This location is significant as it leverages the abundant solar energy resources available in the region to power the production of green hydrogen.
This is Dr. Ali Al-Alili, the Vice President of Research and Development from Dubai Electricity and Water Authority. So let me talk to you a little bit about the power plant that you visited this morning. It's the green hydrogen plant. DEWA, which is Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, implemented this project at Mohammed bin Rashid Solar Park. And it came as a result of collaboration with Expo 2020 Dubai and Siemens Energy. It's actually the first of its kind in the MENA region and North Africa to produce hydrogen using solar energy. So we designed this plant to accommodate actually future applications of hydrogen, and it's helping us as a testing facility at the research center. And as you know, the hydrogen has multiple applications, and the way we produce